Hey YouTube, I'm back once again with something a little bit different. So Peter, BluRayBulletBrit, set a challenge this week to pick your top 10 movies from A to C to watch during lockdown, or if you were stranded on a desert island. And this was very difficult. Now, the rules as I saw them are exactly as I've just stated. The top 10 movies from A to C. There was no other stipulations. Now, to be fair, Pete does collect pretty much just Blu-rays and 4Ks, and I guess 3Ds as well, but all within the Blu-ray family. I don't just collect those, I collect others as well. So there's a kind of a little bit of a loophole there as I see it, and I'm going to take full advantage of that and not just limit myself to Blu-rays for this this top 10. Like I say, this was very difficult. I could have done 50, but I've whittled it down to 21, which still isn't low enough. But I've got a top 10 and I've got kind of a backup top 10. But as I was watching James's video last night, Movie Mad, he had the genius idea, and why I never thought of it was to do honourable mentions. So I'm going to steal that idea and have my backup 11, if you like, as my honourable mentions. So we're going to go through those first. Cheating maybe, but this is how it is. So the honourable mentions, in no particular order. Well, actually they're in alphabetical order, but no particular numerical order or in any best to worst kind of order, and it'll be the same with the top 10. And this one been the first non-Blu-ray, because I only own this on DVD. Bad Boys, an awesome action movie, but not my favourite action movie in these two piles. So this one had to be put aside from the actual top 10. Same with this one. People hate on this movie, and it's not a perfect movie, and it was ridiculed, I guess, because it was based on a board game, but it's Battleship. And this is just a great popcorn movie. It's a lot of fun, and it's like everything here. It's one I can just watch again and again and again, but it didn't quite make the cut. This next one is a 3-movie set, but we're going specifically for the first one, and that's Beverly Hills Cop. Great 80s action comedy. Yeah. Well, not more could be said, much more could be said about that. It's just a lot of fun. A movie from when I was a kid. I saw this in the cinema and absolutely loved it, and was really happy when I got it on Blu-ray a few years ago. I had it on DVD for quite some time. Biggles, Adventures in Time. And I guess this plays into my love for time travel stories. The DVD I had of this for years was full screen 4:3, and I'd never seen it, I don't think, since the cinema in widescreen before I bought this. But again, it's just outside of my top 10. These next few, I really struggled to not put them in the top 10, but again, didn't quite make it. And this time I've got a HD DVD, The Breakfast Club. For me, not John Hughes' best, but still a solid film. I couldn't not put these two in, and I can't separate them, but again, weren't quite there for the top 10. Breaking and Breaking 2, these were actually, it actually says there, Breakdance the movie. And Breakdance, actually it doesn't say Breakdance, but Breakdance 2 Electric Boogaloo were what they were originally called in the UK on release. But these are German releases, but these are great. I really love them movies. And Cannonball Run, an awesome road comedy, but didn't quite make the grade. If this had been in any other anything other than A, B or C, this probably would have made it. As far as the Gates of Hell trilogy goes, this is my second favourite, but only by a small margin. City of the Living Dead, this is Arrow's limited edition box set. But yeah, again, it didn't quite make it, but this is a very good film. This one, I'm still having second thoughts whether this one should be in my top 10. Clerks 2, again, this is my second favourite of Kevin Smith's films, Dogma being the first, but obviously Dogma doesn't fit in this category, but very lightly will in the next one. Clerks 2, yeah, really good fun. And then finally, for this honourable mentions, a very low budget sci-fi horror, maybe, or thriller, Cube. This is an awesome film. I remember watching this on Sky, I think, well, not when it first came out, but not long after it came out, and absolutely loving it. And I don't own a Blu-ray of this yet, and I need to get hold of it because it's great. Yeah, Cube. So those been honourable mentions. Now we're going to get into the top 10, and some of these might be a bit of a surprise, but I think they're mostly thought of as solid movies. So we're going to start off with A Fish Called Wanda, probably the best British comedy ever, in my opinion. A solid, awesome, funny movie, and for Arrow to brought this out, it was just the icing on the cake. It's fantastic. A film that I've always championed as a fantastic movie, albeit underrated. I never hear anybody talking about this, but I think it's fantastic. And if you own it and haven't seen it, I urge you to watch it. It's great. It's, how do I put this? It's not a fun movie. It starts off pretty light-hearted, I guess, but it gets very dark at the end. But because it's based on real life events, but it's a solid watch, and it's a must watch, I think. Going back to the Gates of Hell, this is the second movie in the trilogy, The Beyond, and for my money the best of the three. Yeah, another Arrow release, and fantastic horror from the very early 80s. Very recent pickup for me on Blu-ray. Had I not got this, we'd be looking at the DVD right now. The Big Hit. I adore this film, it's so good. Yeah, again, I think is a must-watch. Next, a film that when I first rented this in the 90s on VHS, I didn't like it, and it took me best part of a decade to rewatch it, and I only did that because I got it in a bundle of HD DVDs. I now have it several times. This is The Big Lebowski. I went for the Real Heroes edition for this collection, for this top 10. Although I do own, I own the HD DVD on I think 2 or 3 different versions, and I've also got a digibook which isn't to hand, so we'll just stick with this one. A film at first that I was cautious, is that the right word? I hadn't long seen The Road, and I didn't like that film. I didn't even finish that film, and on paper this should be a film that I really love, and I do actually, but it took me such a long time to get around to watching it. This is The Book of Eli. I do like post-apocalyptic movies, but when I watched The Road, it kind of put me off. I really didn't like that film at all, but this brought me back. It was fantastic. Probably one of the best action movies, maybe. part of a trilogy, which then they extended to 5 movies, but this one is still the best. The Bourne Identity. Again, this is the Real Heroes edition. Yeah, I can't say much more than that. It's such a fantastic film. One that Pete and I probably disagree on. He put Civil War in his top 10. I prefer Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, obviously. I do like Civil War. This is my favourite of, I think, of all the Marvel movies. It's yeah, it's such a good film. Another one that we both agreed on, Commando. Ditto everything he says. It's fantastic. It's Arnie at his very best. This one being the director's cut. I don't know how much difference there is between this and the standard release. But yeah, great 80s action. And then finally, a movie that we don't have on Blu-ray in the UK, but I do happen to own it on HD DVD. Crank. Arguably, for me, one of Jason Statham's best movies, which is quite a statement. I mean, I probably would go with Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, but that doesn't fit A to C. But I love Crank. It's just one of those films you can watch over and over and over again. It's a great movie. And I do have the second one. Maybe that should be here, maybe not. But we're going to go with this one. I love this film. So that being right there, my top 10 A to C. I was just checking it to make sure I did have 10. There is 10 there. Yeah, so the top 10 lockdown movies in A to C that I'm actually going to start watching some of these today. It's quite early, Sunday, the sun is shining outside, and I'm gutted that I can't go to a car boot sale. I mean, there's going to be no car boot sales on, but it doesn't make me feel any better that I can't actually go to a car boot sale, because I want to find some bargains. It's been weeks now since I've been out looking for anything, and I'm getting antsy, so I'm going to have to just watch some stuff instead. Not sure what I'm going to watch yet, but I'm edging towards Commando, I think. Maybe some big hit, but we'll see. Anyway, that's A to C. Hopefully, this time next week we'll be doing D, E and F. And I haven't even looked yet to see what's in there, but I mean, off the top of my head, we've got Die Hard. Will that make it? Maybe. What else? All the Fast and Furious is. Will one of them make it into there? Who knows? But anyway, this video's gone on long enough now, so thanks very much for watching my ramblings once again, and I will catch you in the next one. Ta-ra.